Welcome, everybody, to the Living Consciously television show coming to you live from our Denver, Colorado studios. We are also streaming live on YouTube Live, as well as Hangouts and at consciousevolutionmedia.com. I'm your host and moderator, Coach Steve Toth, and our theme today is Millennial Living Essentials, Your Resilience Factors, or Factor, maybe Factors. We'll find out. But first, let me introduce you to our guest today. Her name is Jasmina Agrillo-Share, and she's joining us from that beautiful sunny California where it takes 45 minutes to get to 7-Eleven. Welcome to the show. I couldn't pass it up. Right? I couldn't pass it up.
Oh, LA traffic, yes. It's like Mumbai. Thank you.
Welcome to the show, Jasmina. And then right to our guest, Jasmina, we also have Linda Dyer, and she's coming to us from that place where the kangaroos are up and roaming 24/7. That would be Australia. Welcome to the show, Linda.
Thank you very much. No kangaroos here because I'm near the beach.
Okay. Good to have you. I thought they were everywhere.
Only in the zoo here.
All right, and next to Linda, we have Rosie Kuhn, and she's joining us from the state of Washington, where Jimi Hendrix was born, and that's all I need to know. Welcome to the show, Rosie.
In 40 years, they'll say where Dr. Rosie Kuhn lived.
All right. Well, I'll be still around, so I'll remember to say that.
Okay, excellent.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right. So our theme this evening, fantastic theme, provided to us, of course, by Jasmina. Millennial Living Essentials, Your Resilience Factor. I can't wait to see what we create on the show. Let's clear up maybe at the very beginning of the show. What is really resilience, Jasmina?
Yeah. It's an energy of everything we are and aspire to be, and it happens in our entire physiology, our physical self, our mental self, our emotional self, our spiritual self, and it is the highest of who we can be as human beings, in living that in very practical ways out in the world. Really, the call to be resilient is so big for every single one of us. So that's my ready definition.
Can
I just
how
ask?
would you describe it in terms of what it looks like and what it feels like?
Yeah.
Help us with that.
Okay. If I have this beautiful meditation, say, and I get in my car in LA traffic, which is insane, and someone cuts me off in traffic, and I get all bent out of shape about that, I need to get resilient. I need to recover and be in my resilience and bring that into a gratitude. My life is spared. We didn't get into an accident, and let this person go on, and transform the anger. Because if I don't, then that's spilling out in my energy field. That's going to affect what I do in the day, and even when I interact with people, they'll sense that. So that's resilience, to be able to recover from adversity. Well, and that's just a very basic thing. Being cut off in traffic happens so much here, and so that's just a start. But all the domains affect each other. Like if we stress out mentally, emotionally, it does affect our physiology, and it affects our spiritual outlook. So it's a kind of it's a really, I think of it as a mindful awareness thing to really be aware of our resilience, and to store resilience. That's another thing, how we do that in each, like physically. How do I restore my resilience? How do I do it emotionally, mentally, and spiritually? I think of it as our responsibility and our task to do that. But if we don't have enough stored resilience, then it's harder for us to recover from stresses, from challenges in life. And I think resilience is a very big buzzword collectively right now, and I think there's a reason for that for us, because it's something we're aware of that we need very much to be able to stand up to modern life, millennial living. So, yeah.
So is there a persistence around that? The word persistence coming up for me all the time when I'm hearing you talk. It's like, do we need to be persistently in high energy? Like, not high energy, no, that's not the right word, but to have this positive outlook and to have all our body and mind working together. You know, that whole mind over matter I totally disagree with. I think the mind and matter should be working harmoniously together persistently. And won't that give us resilience?
Yes. Oh, yes.
I like the, a long time ago there was a particular toy called Weebles. Do you guys remember Weebles?
Weebles.
And the branding was Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So I think of the resilience as that, and also we used to have those beanbag punchy little clown things. You punch them and they'd fall down and they'd bounce back up. And for me, that's resilience.
Yes.
It's like
Yeah.
we can fall down, but we have this capacity to get back up much more and more quickly as we build, like you say, build and have that resilience to recover and come back to grounded, centered.
Yes.
So Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down.
So I just had an experience actually coming to the studio, and I'm wondering if this is resilience or is it something else. So I'm just going to describe it. So I'm on the highway, and all of a sudden it starts raining like crazy, and next thing I know, there's ice coming down with it, and hail. And just picture I-25 full of cars, just like in California, 4 lanes each way. And all these people are starting to look for where they can pull over under the overpasses to save their cars from being damaged. And by doing that, they're creating an incredible issue with people getting into accidents. Because all of a sudden now, what's more important is to save the car.
Oh, interesting.
Instead of just being safe, you know what I mean? And I just checked in with myself, and I'm going like, yeah, I could do that, but guess what? I'm not going to do it, because if the car gets damaged, I'll get it fixed, and I don't care. I care more about everybody's safety and my safety, so I'm not playing that game. So is that resilience, or is it something else?
Yeah.
Great question.
Yeah. Wouldn't you say? Spiritual resilience? When I think of spiritual, that's our altruism, our nobility. What's the best? What's our value here? And you came into your, what I would say, your spiritual resilience like right away, you know? And sometimes that domain is somewhat neglected in our culture. We have so many distractions, you know, with our TV and technology and material things, and you know, yeah. It's like,
You know,
I mentioned on the show a few shows ago that I disconnected my TV, and I got like booed. Like, why did you even bring that up? Well, I brought it up because I feel that if a lot more people would disconnect their television, there would be something's going on. I can't even imagine what would go on, but the fact that, let's say, 100,000 people in America all of a sudden disconnected their TVs, cable, including satellite, that would send some kind of a message, wouldn't it?
And how is that? I mean, I think that I like what we're talking about, because in a sense there's places where we can have immediate resilience, like what you're talking about, Steve, on the highway where the hail and stuff starts coming down. You went from, oh my God, to, okay, let's stay focused on being careful and caring. And in the bigger picture, you're talking about the resilience of our culture, that we're so entrenched and trained in TV and electronic element that we can't find our way back to the balance of humanness and our balance between the spiritual human well-being. So there's that well-being, that resilience that I think you're talking about, Steve, when you're saying that about what if we just, a lot of us, and what happened on the highway.
Yeah, because the reason I feel strongly about it, and I think you picked up on it, is because I hear people talk about it all the time, that it's really bad to watch television, but it seems to me that nobody wants to do anything about it. We just talk about it, that it's really bad for us. It's bad for our kids. It's bad for us. It's really very negative. But for some reason, we just keep going home every day, turning it on, eating in front of it, and spend at least 4 hours. The average American spends 4 to 6 hours in front of it.
I think it would be a pity to turn the TV off. I'll be totally honest with you, because I think resilience in that case is about, you can have your TV, it's about choosing what you would like, what vibration you would like to get from that. Like if I've been training all day, there's nothing nicer than to come home and watch somebody else's creativity in a nice movie. I love Sandra Bullock's movie, etc.
Oh, well, you can still watch TV. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But if I turned it off, I would miss out. And just recently they've started the X Factor up here again in Australia, and to miss out on all that amazing talent. I mean, Tuesday night is like I love watching those kids and show their potential on stage. Now, does it mean I watch TV every night? Not at all. But the resilience for me is making those choices that would be great for me to do on that night. And now I've joined an organisation recently. There's a lot of work for me to do, and launching my books, etc. And so that will take precedence. But that's the resilience of not going out and watching any show just because, I need entertaining. The resilience to me is about choosing what would be really great to keep you in that persistent level of great vibration.
Yeah. Well said. Yes. I think that is mental resilience, like our attention span, our ability to focus, that to incorporate multiple points of view, to be able to have the mental, focus. Okay, to do that, you have to, that's resilience, mentally, to have the discipline, that's the word I'm looking for, discipline, to do that, to not watch, some real negative TV that's going to bring your resilience down. Yeah.
I like what you're saying, Linda, because it brings up the balance, like we're talking about the balance, but it's like, where do I get refreshed? How do I get relaxed? How do I get to just let myself be inspired and just observe and witness other people's creativities and delights. Yeah. And it's like being able to choose what is it that refreshes me? What is it that cultivates and infuses me with that resilience and that ability? Because like you, I'm finishing up a book, and I'm in the process of Kickstarters and all those kinds of things, and it takes a lot of energy, and to give myself some rest time. Sometimes that's outdoors, sometimes that's a Netflix movie, sometimes it's whatever. I turned the TV off years ago, Steve, like you did. I just stopped watching TV specifically, but I watch Netflix a lot. I watch movies.
Yeah, me too.
But
I mean, I get what I want from the internet when I want it and how I want it.
Yes. So I think that's we're much like the show is called Conscious Evolution. It's like we're becoming more conscious, and this is what you're pointing to, Linda, as well. And Jasmina, is this ability to choose in service to our highest contribution, our highest level of being, whether that's the quality of television or movies, or the quality of friendships, or the quality of environment that we live in. That all contributes to our ability to be resilient. When I get too much time in front of my computer, when I get too much time with people, I start to just lose my ability to just be. But as I keep nourishing myself in all kinds of ways, then I can bounce back more quickly.
Yeah, well said. Rosie.
So
Yeah.
Christina, you connected this theme for this evening with millennials.
Yes.
Why did you do that?
Because we have as in the with the advances in technology, with the incredible polarization in the world, people eat the black and white polarization we have, uh, the environmental issues we have, women's rights, all of that, um, and we have a global economy now. We're all affected by that. So it's not like we have these little communities. We are global, and we have major uh, challenges and stresses like we've never had before. And I like the word millennial because we're really living now with the advances in science, the medical advances they're amazing. And we need to, as human beings, step up to the plate in that with our resilience, as we discussed. But I'm so aware of millennial because my son is a millennial. We had this talk about this when he was out this summer, and he says, you know what we've inherited? How much work we have to do in the world to make it better. And he's the up and coming, the millennial generation. They're very focused. They're innovative. They want to change things for the better. And I'm getting the goosebumps as we talk about it. They're coming into the workforce. So we have millennials, just a powerful world because we really have such a responsibility as human beings right now on the planet.
So how is being resilient? Is it more important for millennials than it is for the generations prior to millennials?
Yes,
or
very important for millennials.
Is it any more important for millennials than for the rest of us?
We're the wisdom folks.
Which ones are the wisdom folks?
So they're looking to us for guidance. And my son, when I think of it, he almost can be merciless in his altruism in the sense of he watches what I do and calls me on it. And this is a quality of the millennials. They don't put up with crap. They don't want to put up with crap. They're very directed, And so it's like, we have to be there for them because we're helping them. They're up and coming. Yeah, they're out there. Yeah.
I'm finishing a book called Cultivating Spirituality in Children, 101 Ways to Make Every Child's Spirit Soar. And it's really mostly about how do we, as the wisdom people, or just as grown-ups, how do we walk our talk? How do we speak our truth? How do we live that resilience? How do we live in our highest contribution? And it sounds like your son is saying, hey, Mom, keep living in your highest contribution and checking when you're not.
Yeah. So they need our help. They really do. And they feel the tremendous responsibility of that. Even the generation of a 9-year-old that I work with for a while, she's not 9 now, she's probably 13. And she had anxiety over the fate of the world, and this is serious anxiety. And she was able to come into her own resilience, mentally and spiritually. She could send love. She could learn how to calm herself down and so forth. So this is, it's really big stuff, I think. And
I think it's quite scary in some aspects. My youngest brother is in Regeneration Projects. He has been for quite some time. And he went over to Fiji with his own money, and he just started an amazing project over there in teaching the Fijians how to harvest what they've already got in their country to make, fertilizer for themselves, for their plants, fertilizer for the animals, and also food for themselves. Now, he got kicked out of the country. 71 people from that project have been put into prison because the government doesn't want the people to be showing that much independence. And how dare you? It was really quite frightening. And I said to him, I saw a similar thing in Uganda He's now working in the middle of Australia here, in the middle of, New South Wales, the state I live in, and helping a local government do the same thing. But he just said, we don't have poor countries. We have poor mindsets. We have the lack of resilience in the leaders. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the people that are leading the conversations. And and I think about him and all the stuff he's doing and how many brick walls he's hitting, because he's very connected into what the world could do and how he could make the world a better place. But there's so few people that want to step up and really hear it, because in some respects, like he said, you've got them knocking you back left, right and centre.
Yes.
So in a sense, the rigidity would be the juxtaposition or the opposite of resilient, that a rigid mind and a limited that is in a sense unwilling to be expansive, or is not resilient, and that doesn't allow for openness and expansion and creativity and
not at all, because they feel like they're lacking a control over you. And if the leaders can control you, they feel like that's. But the minute you start becoming that educated and that experimental, and all of a sudden you've got some amazing stuff happening, but it didn't come from a leader, there's controversy to the point where in some of these countries, and he said it's absolutely like Paradise Lost. There are so many opportunities to show these people how to get out of their poorness and create so much of their own amazing stuff from their own amazing ingredients that are growing in the ground. And he said, funnily enough, in most of the poorest countries in the world, this one plant grows and you can do so much with it, and they don't want to know about it. It's really, really... But you know what? For him, he's an example of resilience, because he has stuck to his guns, gone from place to place until now he's found a council here in a country town that's willing to absolutely give it a go. And I think that's all he needs. Once he gives that a go and it becomes such a success for this, country council, other people are going to go, well, what are you doing? Maybe we should copy that, So it's brilliant.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, and the courage it takes for your brother to keep present and keep committed to that is huge, really huge.
Yes.
Like the level of conviction is huge.
So as I was listening to you, I got 3 kids and they all 3 of them are millennials, and I'm just thinking, what they are up to and what they're doing, and it's really interesting. My youngest, who is only 30, he's in a relationship, has 2 kids, and he isn't buying a lot of the stuff that I know I bought hook, line, and sinker when I came to this country. And he's just not buying it. And he's very responsible in terms of taking care of his family, and which actually doesn't surprise me. But he's the youngest of all 3, and he has done some crazy things when he was a little bit younger, specifically with drugs, that set him back for a little while. But he has this, and I wanted to run this by you guys. He has this illness, and I forget what is it exactly called, but just to give you an example, he has this obsessive behavior. When he's out in the public, he's got to go to the bathroom and wash his hands 10 times. I played tennis with him on Sunday, and after we got done, he keeps the tennis equipment in his car, in his trunk, and I'm just going to show you exactly what he does. So he opens the trunk, he puts one tennis racket on one side, and it has to be exactly straight. Then he takes the other tennis racket, puts it next to it, it has to be exactly straight. He puts the balls down, it has to fit exactly just the way he wants it, and then he touches them. He touches these objects several times to make sure they are exactly straight and exactly the way he wants it. he takes his shoes, his tennis shoes, puts it in there, and in the meantime, I'm checking in with myself, like I'm going like, oh my God, what is he doing? And I go, John, as soon as you shut the trunk and you start the car, they're gonna go over. And he says, shut up, Dad. and he has this obsessive behavior, and it used to be a lot worse. I guess it's been getting better. But I finally decided to, and my youngest son is very difficult to influence. Like, he has this thing about his own mind, and he watches a lot of documentaries, and you know, he's a very interesting person, and he's not easy. He just won't necessarily do what I ask him to do, like from one of the wisdom people. And when I influenced him to go do this new technology, which actually we had them on our network at least 4 or 5 times, if not 6, regarding balancing your mind, balancing the left side and the right side. And I got him excited, and he's actually doing it. And I am paying for it. My ex is paying for it. My ex's new husband is paying for it. And he's doing it, and he goes, Dad, I now understand what you meant by meditation and what you meant by quieting my mind down. I never knew what you were talking about. I heard you a million times, but I never understood, and I'm not having the experience. And I mean, I cannot tell you how touch moved and inspired I am that I actually were able to influence him to get in there and do something about his, his situation. Because every time I experience this stuff, and I know that his kids and his wife are the ones that are paying for this on a daily basis. You know, it doesn't look as bad to me because I'm not with him all the time, but his family is, and he can't control this thing. So. What do you think?
It's actually a part of him. So we've got parts within our subconscious mind, and a part of him has developed its own nervous system, and it thinks it's running the body. So we call it here OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, and
we call it that here too.
Yeah.
I just couldn't.
And you get the addiction from that. So that's where the addictive behaviour comes from. The problem is that it's got its own nervous system, as I said, and it believes it's running his body, and that's why, as you say, he finds it difficult to let that go. So what you're doing in the balancing is absolutely perfect. The integration of the parts, and God love him for doing it, because they're usually really convinced by their part rather than by somebody else that's outside the family.
So do you feel that this is also resilience? I'm just trying to connect it to that he's being resilient, actually taking it on.
Yeah.
And
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's amazing for both you guys, both of you. Yeah.
I mean, I helped him with fixing his credit, and he's so funny because it's like, I made some mistakes in the past, of course, like all parents do. When I got divorced, I was the Disney daddy. I always taken them on the weekends, and I always did a lot of things with them. And then women came into the picture, and there were times when I was supposed to be picking up my kids, taking them to Disneyland, and I didn't show up. I was out there with some women partying. So he remembers those times, And so for a long time, he didn't trust me that I would actually care about him and show up. And that's all coming back into our lives. And it is just so cool because my heart goes out to him when I see him with this condition. And I know it's just in his mind. It's not real, but it looks like it's real because it's like Linda, you said, it's running him.
It's real to him.
It's not really him. He's much bigger than
Yeah.
this, but somehow this thing got him. And well, I had a few addiction issues myself in my past, so this is how it's turning out for him. And I just know in my heart that he's gonna get it under control. He just will, because
Just like
he's
you
done
do.
Yes.
already. Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes the resilience has to build up, but you have to be ready. You have to be ready for it. And
I wanted to mention that there's a movie just out on Netflix now called The Road Within, and it's I just watched it last night, and it's with a fellow who's got Tourette syndrome, and the one of his companions is severe OCD, and the other is anorexic. But it's such a great portrayal of what you're talking about. In terms of the lack of resilience in any of these individuals to be able to do anything but what is now entrained in their minds as a way of being in the world. So I think it's really great that you bring that up, because it's easy in a sense to talk about resilience in our everyday life, but we have what we've talked about in terms of politicians or leaders who have no resiliency, and people who struggle with mental structures that there's no resilience in that, and that there are now so many more technologies, if you will, for supporting and building resilience within all of us. So I'm really glad you brought that up. And again, that movie is called The Road Within, which is, again, a really great portrayal of all of these kinds of the lack of the inability to be resilient whatsoever. So,
yeah, it's all. I want to say it's in each one of us, and we do need help and support to bring it out. I'm thinking of my mom, who I grew up with her undiagnosed bipolar illness, and throughout my life I would attempt to help her, but she wouldn't go for it. And my spiritual connection or my own intuition is to let it go, let her, she's got her own timing, and give it over to spirit, because it was affecting my resilience. But I will say, at the age of 79, she's now in treatment.
Wow.
And so,
Oh, my Lord.
Very cool.
I know. So, yeah. And I have so much. I wanted it to happen, waiting for it to happen, and it's happening. So
you see, I believe everybody's bipolar. I mean, think about it.
Everybody's OCD.
We've got two parts. We've got two parts. We've got a part that we inherited from Mum and a part that we inherited from Dad. And inside those parts, we've got all their stuff, which is like Russian roulette. What are we going to take on board and grab? So I think bipolar is very interesting. I mean, I was in a police station not so long ago, and he said, what do you want to talk about? And I said, oh, look, there was this little baby accident. And he said, are you actually coming in and being honest? I said, yes, I am, because I'm going overseas, and I need to let you know that, in case these people complain, but I don't think any of their cars were damaged, that this happened. And he said, oh, my God, I don't know what to do with you. He said, what should I do? Should I charge you with negligence? Or should I write it down? I said, you could write it down if you like. He said, what were you doing just before? I said, I was working with all these bipolar people. He said, oh, my gosh, we could give you a full-time job here. He said, every second person that walks into a police station has bipolar. I said, think about it. It's two parts. It's your mum and your dad, and they're fighting with each other in your subconscious mind. But one of your parts has got its own nervous system, and it thinks it's running your body. And so you're obsessed by it. So you just need, as I said, we're all bipolar. We've all got two parts.
Yeah, we all have ADD big time, too, huh?
Wow. So, this is what came to me. I'm going to share this, because I want you to tell me what is this, because I'm just noticing this. It's just incredible. So since I joined corporate America again, I'm noticing. So my morning routine, I get up and this is happening every day, and I'm going okay, do I need to change this, or what the heck is going on? I get up 10 minutes before 6 o'clock. I go downstairs into the kitchen. I get some coffee, I sit down, the next thing happens, my cat comes up to me, starts talking to me, meow, 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 and I gotta love her up because if I don't, I never hear the end of it. And so I do that, and then as soon as I start doing that, the dogs will come up, and they want to be loved too. So, I love them, so here's both of my hands going up back and forth, and then once I start doing that, the dogs, that's not enough. Then they're gonna want to get up on me, and then I said, okay, it's enough. Go lay down. Then I go into the bathroom, and I'm watching myself. So you kind of wonder who's watching who here. I'm watching, but I open the door, I grab the towel, I put it nearby the shower. Well, I turn on the light switch and the fan, and I go take a shower. Then I get out of the shower. So this is like, I'm noticing this routine that I'm doing every morning. And it's done almost exactly the same way. What the hell is that?
It's called a strategy.
Yeah.
Strategy.
Do you
We do
ladies do this too?
everything by a strategy. Yeah.
It's a habit, huh?
Do you have the capacity to do it different? I guess that would be.
Yeah, I could do it differently. And I'm wondering if I
check
should.
that off the list.
Or should I just leave it alone? Because it works, I only have like a half hour to 45 minutes to get everything done and get the hell out of my house.
Yeah.
If it works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And I got it down to like what you said, a routine. Like there is a system, and I just go through that, and I'm almost on automatic pilot. I'm going like, what is this? And who's noticing that I'm on automatic pilot?
Yeah. Do you like
Do you want it to be? Yeah. Do you like it? Do you want it to be different? Would you like it to be different?
Not really.
Okay.
I just want to be practical. I need to get it done.
You've become resilient in your morning strategy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Get up at 11 minutes before 6 and see what happens. see how resilient you are to that.
Okay. I'll try
What will you do? What will you do with that extra minute? That's what I want to know.
And what would happen if someone puts something in that's completely outside of the realm that I'm normally doing? What happens then? I don't know.
That's right. That's where you get to see how resilient you actually are.
Okay.
We actually have a strategy for.
Am I the only one? Yeah, I'm not the only one that's doing this, right?
No, I get up and do the same thing every morning. I live in my little 200 square foot trailer, so it's like get up, move 4 feet into the kitchen, make my coffee, move 4 feet into the bathroom, and move 4 feet to the couch. There, I'm done.
Oh my God!
So it's like boom, boom, boom. And I just like you, I've just been watching that. Like I've been doing the same thing over and over again. And but it's what I love doing. It's whether I get up at 7 or 7:30 or 8 o'clock, it doesn't matter the timing so much as that get up and move in that direction. That's linear direction. But the resilience is the ability to do it differently if you choose to, and be okay with it or be happy with it. That's,
Don't you think we have to work? I think because as we get older, the mental flexibility to do that is a little more of a challenge. I notice that with myself, and it's like a matter for me to be conscious about that. Pardon?
You're saying that as we get older, a lot of times we are less resilient because we've trained our mind to operate in a particular default mechanism, and we're less liking. I mean, like in terms of I live alone and I sleep alone. I love my bed. I love sprawling out and all that kind of stuff.
Sleep alone.
I think about we talked about this on a different show, but that sharing my bed with my dog is one thing. That's a great thing, but I don't know that I'm willing to be resilient to allow somebody to sleep in my bed with me because I really enjoy the way it is, and that's
okay.
I don't know. I can't fit a king size bed into my little trailer. I just can't.
Well,
And I
that's
think,
why
Rosie, I think that's an interesting point.
Invented spooning. It
Say that
takes
again.
a lot less space.
Yeah.
Spooning does?
Yes.
I'm a wiggler, though. I wiggle all the time.
Yeah,
So I think I would knock somebody in the teeth that way.
my husband.
Linda, you were saying there was a. What were you saying, Linda?
It's gone now. I
Okay.
was just saying that everybody has a strategy for
Blessing.
everything,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter what the strategy is and the resilience you have around that strategy. It's only worth changing if it's not working for you.
Yes, beautiful.
Like, we do a lot of strategy changing and change people's patterns of behavior because it's actually in your dendrites and your neurons in your brain. It's a set pattern of behavior. So for me, I get up and I take my minerals and I walk to the beach with my dog, or my dog walks me to the beach, and I come back and I have my fruit and my egg, and so we've all got our strategy.
Yeah.
Unlike you, though, Steve, I don't have an alarm clock. I don't believe in them. I believe the universe will wake me up when I'm required.
Yes, me too.
But I was just also, part of resilience is respecting our limitations.
Yeah.
And
Say
we
more
all
about
have them.
Say more about that.
I was thinking just as a real simple one for me. Los Angeles traffic. I know I'm talking about that more than once. It's because I'm out in it often enough, and I'm finding as I get older, my reaction time is not like when I was 25. And so I have to drive accordingly to that, and out of respect for that, a little slower. I have to. I don't want to be in a conversation with someone, in a deeper conversation while I'm driving. I have to really. I'm very mindfully aware of paying attention and focusing. So that's like a limitation. I respect that, and it's just an example. But we have other ones too. None of us are perfect, and including mental illness. That's how do I live with that?
Yeah.
With care,
So let me share what's been coming up for me that I'm not comfortable with, and I don't know what to do. And that is I'm having issues with short-term memory, and it gets me almost every day in some way. So let me give you some examples so you know what I'm talking about. So for example, in the morning, part of my strategy is I make my morning breakfast, which is liquid, and I put it in a cup, and then I say, as I go to my bedroom, I say, well, I'm going to put it in the front lobby so that I don't have to carry it to my bedroom, and then on the way out, I'll just pick it up. Well, guess what? Next thing I know, I'm in the car, and I didn't pick it up. What the heck is that?
Short-term memory.
This just happened within like 2 minutes, and I forgot that I was supposed to pick it up.
Join the club.
I'm not comfortable with that.
Join the club.
And what a great treat when you get home.
Oh my God. Well,
So is there anything to do about that? Is it just, it really just has to do with aging and all that stuff?
Well, there are supplements. They say right now the coconut oil, coconut products are highly helpful in with long-term memory and short-term memory. So that's a really good thing. And there's lots of other herbal remedies and perhaps exercise and mental exercises, those kinds of things. But it may just be the degree to which you're tangled up in your mind about something in the moment that has you forget that that's occurring. The other thing that's really interesting, because this comes up a lot, is that the evolution of consciousness actually affects the mentalization of our brain. And so a lot of times, quite often, there'll be millions of people who have brain farts or things that they forget, not because there's anything actually going wrong or going bad, or you're getting old, and it's not about that. It's about things that are occurring on the energetic vibrational level on the planet and in the universe that has that happen to us.
Yeah.
So if we say things like, yeah, I'm getting old and that's what happens, you know, I don't necessarily buy into that, and I know that there's so many different ways of regenerating our energetics and our mentalization. But one of them is to pay attention to the larger, more expanded things that are happening outside ourselves that impact on our brain waves, our electrical systems, those kinds of things that are much bigger than, you know, than we're, you know, all getting dementia. You know, that maybe that's true, but if that is a possibility.
I'm not buying into that stuff either. But here's another one that's a fairly recent one. I never had trouble with names. All of a sudden, I can't remember people's names. What the heck? Why?
It is a part of life, Steve. But you know, I think on one show, like you can do like name associations, which we've learned before, where you associate somebody with. It might be something they did with their shoulder, or something that's on their face, or the way they did their hair. The other thing is like I was a bit like you, where I had so much going on in my life. I was a representative tennis player. I was this, I was that. And then when I meet people, I think, what part of my life did I meet them in? So I'd quite often wait for somebody to go and introduce themselves, or I'd say, "Oh, hi there, how are you going?" You know, and I didn't have to say their name, and eventually that name would come out, and I think, okay, great Adele, or great whoever, and I didn't make it a big deal, because there's a lot of other stuff I did remember, so I didn't make the forgetting of their name in that split second a big deal. And the other thing is that you can actually use your eyes to make sure that you've got a brilliant memory, because our eyes are the windows of the soul, and we store stuff in our brain, and our eyes are the filing access cabinet to that. So if I want to remember something, like this book I've just written is on healing your immune system, and it's been unbelievably popular because most things have got an immune disorder as the basis. So if I remember now, I used to always speak in personal development, and now I've come back to doing what I used to do, which is talking about health, which is personal development and nutritional side. I've had to go into old filing cabinets. So that's what I call it. You know, if you go up, if you're a right-handed person and you go up to the left, you can recall anything. Anything visual, you can recall it. So you can take your eyes up there, and it's, if somebody asks me, for example, about osteoporosis, I'll just go up there and I'll tell you all about the bones.
Yes.
And the breaking down of the bones, etc., and what you need. And it's interesting, like when Rosie said about magnesium, I used to take, I take a lot of magnesium, a lot. But coconut is something I can't handle. So for all those people where Rosie said go out and get coconut, just check that you can take it, because a lot of type O's, which is the biggest blood type, don't tolerate. And I've just been taken off, believe it or not, all my coconut products, and I love them. But it just didn't suit me. So just get a little test and see if that suits you, because it's not one size fits all. The eye patterns are brilliant. They really are.
Yes. And one strategy I have is I take a deep breath. You know, I calm myself. I take a deep breath, heart-centered breath, and then I ask my higher self, my brain, give me the information. Show me where that is. And I get a response. But you have to really calm yourself down. You got to get out of your own mental processing and bring that calm, because that affects your brain, affects your energy field and everything. So that helps me too. But I like what you... sorry.
When I learned from my parents that it's really okay, and this is talking to you, Steve, about forgetting people's names, but to say, you know what, I forgot your name, I'm sorry, you know, that kind of thing, like the humility element of just being present and just being human, which contributes to our resilience, rather than going, I forgot again, that kind of stuff. But it's like, you know what, I forgot your name. You know, and many times
These are people I hang out with on a daily basis, and what I'm noticing.
I get it. I have clients, and I'm about ready to write their name down and schedule, and I'll go, "What's their name?" I get this. I get this, and thank God that most of my clients are like, "I get it, Rosie." Pardon me, Linda.
What about when you're training and your clients finish a sentence for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I think we're done. Oh, sensei. So, but yeah, it's like, being in the humbleness of that process is, as opposed to trying to, and I think that contributes to the resilience of being okay, is just allowing it to be what it is. And I think that this is where we grow from a spiritual perspective, where we want to protect or deny or distract or it's just like here we go, here's another moment where I've forgotten or it's like, and it's very startling. I get that. I had dinner with my family. I was in Detroit a couple weeks ago, and I went to move my brother's wine glass from here, and then I put it down, and he said, "You're drinking out of my wine glass," and I go, "No, I'm not. I just picked it up." And they said, "No, you drank out of the glass." I go, "No, I didn't drink out of the glass." And it was like, oh my God, I drank out of the glass because 2 people were telling me I did that.
Yeah.
So I understand that, but it's very startling. It's like, wow, how could that happen? How could that? But again, obviously, people who have diseases of dementia and Alzheimer's, it's something that they that's a realization for us, rather than those of us who are perhaps still in denial of that unfolding of that process. It's scary. But the humility, I think, for me, the humbleness of saying, "Oh my God, I get it," and it's whether it's my mind, whether it's the universe, whether it's something else that's, a stress level or whatever that's creating that gap in my memory. It's a big, what we call a big fat be with, and a place to exercise resilience, if you will, returning back to, okay, yes, that happened, and who am I now in this moment?
Yeah, it happened, and it's okay. It's okay.
That's right. That's right.
Keeping it calm, making it fun.
That's
hey,
right.
Silly me, I've forgotten your name again. What was it?
Yes.
And then, you're over
Exactly.
it. You continue with the
That's
conversation, because you forgetting the name has become an ego thing, and all of a sudden the ego is trying to protect you, rather than,
And I love it when other people forget my name, because it's like, thank you, because I do that all the time.
Oh, just a fun thing I like to do is with people, because I think it gets them off the hook. But I'll say, "Hey, my name's Jasmina. I don't expect you to remember my name." And then I say, "Well," and they say, "Oh," and they seem so relieved, and then they tell me their name. And, "Oh, by the way, I'm," so it's like, it's kind of like a sort of make light of it, but when you were saying this, what's coming to me when we talk about limitations and about memory and everything is, my dad has Alzheimer's, and he has had it for probably about 9 years now. And when I go to visit him, he recognizes me, just like his face will light up, and then it's gone. But he really can't say very many words. He can say hello, maybe a few words here and there. But the only way I can relate to him is through loving him. That's it. There's no, all the stuff we go through within our relationships mentally. It's just loving him. There's no. I'm trying to look for a word.
I think it's perfect what you're saying, because my dad also has dementia, and it's just, I just make him laugh every time we're together. We just laugh. And laugh, and he just says, "I don't know what I'd do without you," and it's just because we're laughing. I'd say, "Hey, by the way," I'd say, "it's about time you started to write a letter." He said, "Who have I got to write a letter to?" And I said, "Well, when you turn 100, the Queen writes to you." I said, "Well, you're going to turn 100 before her, so why don't you write her one?" And he cracks up, and it's just that sort of stuff, Or I'd say, he'd say, "Oh, how old are you next birthday?" And I'd tell him, and he'd say, oh heavens, how old am I then? You know, and it says,
Yeah.
oh, and you go, am I that old? And I say, who cares? You know, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's totally in the moment, and all that mental stuff, it doesn't matter anymore.
It
Whatever,
doesn't
you know, I
matter.
just forget. Yeah, I just let it go, and I can just be in the moment with my dad.
Yeah.
In a way, it's
And
like, yeah,
that's so in almost the definition of resilience, isn't it? Just letting it go. Whatever it is that was, let it go. So you're here now and present and
yes,
available.
yeah,
Whatever it was, just let it go. Be here now.
yeah. It's like Alzheimer's is like it's like you're deleting everything. It's like you delete mode, and only the heart's left. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. I like that.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
So again, revisiting our theme, which is the Millennial Living Essentials, your resilience factor. What's coming to me about that resilience factor part is there a way to measure how much resilience we have?
Are you talking scientific?
Yeah.
Electronically?
Any way to measure
Well,
how much resilience we have?
I can do it with my heart rhythm HRV feedback technology developed by Institute of Heart Math. I can see what if I'm stressed, my heart rhythms are stressed. I can see it right away, and I can correct it right away, so I can bring the resilience into my physiology. So that is helpful for me. It's helpful for me for my clients to actually get proof, you know, and so I find
There's that feedback, isn't there? That feedback.
Yeah, you get real time feedback, and even like a judgmental thought puts a tremendous stress on the heart rhythms. So, and you don't think of it, you know, because we're not always aware of it, but to see proof is kind of scary in a way, you know?
I think it's exciting. I think proof is exciting because, like I was feeling like I was running under the radar, which is, you know, probably still high for me, but anyway, or high for a lot of people, but low for me. And so I went to the naturopath, and she put my blood. She does a live blood cell. And she put it up on the TV, and I was watching all these little things going all over the place, and then they started to stick together, and it was exactly how I felt, like stuff was sticking together. And so I didn't feel resilient, but you know, I did something about it. That's what I'm saying. So for me, seeing that up on the screen and getting that bit of a aha moment that, you know, I need to take better care of myself, that, you know, writing a book, you've got so many people wanting something at some time, and so you've got, you know, and editors and they want that back by yesterday, and then the publisher, and then you've got the formatter, and then the publisher, and all this, and the graphic designer, and can we change that, and what have you. And you meet those schedules, and all of a sudden the whole body goes, and I could feel it. And so I went to her, and that's when I actually found out, Rosie, that it was the coconut. I love coconut. I was doing everything coconut, and she said, whoa, and she did a muscle test, and I couldn't do the coconut. So sadly, I've just come off that. However, for me, seeing those blood cells not being so chirpy on the TV screen was the best thing I could have seen, because I'm a visual, and half the population are. And then they can go and make a choice. You know, I've since then done a 3-day fast, or just been on fruit and vegetables and warm water in between, where I clean out all my cells and giving my body. And then today I get a phone call to join a massive organization. So when you look after yourself and you keep that resilience happening in your body, or if you feel that it's getting low, you know, I think it's great to be able to get some sort of sense of where you're at, and then make some changes, make those changes to keep that resilience happening.
Yes.
It's when we don't make the changes that we lose our resilience. We stay in a place and then blame everybody else, including the weather, of why we're there.
Yes.
Yeah, well said. Thank you.
Is there, this is for Jasmina, is there a way to put like resilience into like a turbo mode? Like, that's probably not the right word, but I don't have another one coming to me right now. Like putting resilience into a higher gear.
In terms of what you
for what purpose?
Yeah, for what purpose? Like
I think love is just there. Aren't we there? Like, Rosie, when you write a book, aren't you in high-level resilience? I am. When
Yeah.
I write a book, you're in high-level resilience. I have to get stuff done at a certain time, and it just flows. And
Yes.
I don't, I don't watch any
Okay.
TV. I just stay in the moment. I'm focused. The book's pouring out of me. I'm meeting the deadlines. To
Okay.
me, that's high-level resilience.
Sometimes I'm aware I'm tapping into universal source energy.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it. It's energy. It's there. And I will ask for that. Help me. Give me this energy. Now, I need this to do this task, respecting that I do have to come down sometime, and breathe it in. And I'll sometimes I'll do this yogic technique of I'll take a breath and of light, intention of light. I take a breath. I squeeze every muscle of my body, and I'll let it go, and that helps to bring in the physical. But I ask if I've got. But the interesting thing is, I feel the influx of energy coming into my heart and crown. So it's like coming in, so that's another. Just throwing that out there too is another way.
I have to be outside at least 2 or 3 hours a day. In order to revive and refresh myself up. Especially, the writing is an easy thing for me. Training, coaching is very easy for me, speaking. But it's the details in between, the editing, the administration, all of those things that make my mind so tired that I have to go. All of those other things, the resilience, it's effortless and high resilience, as you're saying, Steve.
Yeah.
But it's all that other minutia that needs to be done and that I need to do. I got to go outside. I don't care if it's raining or sunshine. I have to be out there, walking in the woods or whatever, so that is where I get replenished and drop the stuff. So that's where I'm doing more breathing. Probably that's where I'm doing more talking to God and saying, "Gosh, having that communication outside, inside or whatever." So all those things are part of staying and maintaining a resilience, and then being able to be open to higher levels of resilience as well. So I think you're right, Linda, about that.
Yeah.
Because there's still a law of rhythm. The law of rhythm decrees that there will be times when we go up and there will be times where we come down. It's how we deal with those times. So, and we need the downs. We need not so far down, but we need the times where our body just regains its energy and gets our new ideas and etc. And then we've got that energy to go and write that book or do that speaking or do that training or go be with the family and then enjoy the downtime. Just like we've got seasons, we need that law of rhythm to operate.
And I think that's a really important point, that for our listeners to hear, is that to allow ourselves the downtime, which might be we're just, we're exhausted or we're depressed or we're sad or we're in an emotional state, that to allow ourselves, in a sense, to that's okay, that downtime is part of the cycle of life, the rhythm of life, and that we don't have to push to be happy or up or productive, but that being resilient means that sometimes we're down, and it's really good for us to allow ourselves that down time as well.
Yeah, that self-care.
The self-acceptance.
Where
we are with our mental depletions and all.
Loving, accepting our limitations and living brilliantly within them.
That's right. I like that.
Well, ladies, our conscious hour has come to the end.
Wow, that was so quick.
As usual. Jasmina, I want to thank you very much for being on the network and doing this show with us about resilience. It's really been a fantastic time with you, and I certainly have tuned into the energy of resilience, and it's been absolutely fantastic. Thank you again for everybody. Same thing for the cast. Thank you for contributing and bringing personal examples to the show. We had tons of those today. Thank you very much. And for the people out there in the world, keep coming back to Conscious Evolution Media and to the Living Consciously Pika show every week. Always, we're on Tuesday. And keep coming to YouTube and watch the 2,000 plus shows that we have up there. The more you watch them, the more you watch this show, the more they get up to the top 10. And if they get to the top 10, they have the potential to go to PBS. We have some shows that have as much as 50, 60, 70,000 views.
Wow.
Some shows we have 30. And everything in between. And that's just the way it is. Thank you very much. I love you all. This has been fantastic. Until next time on Conscious Evolution Media and Living Consciously TV. See you guys next week. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Thanks, Jasmina. Bye,
You're
guys.
welcome. Thank you.